Hello everyone and welcome back to the third session of Compose Camp. Does anyone have questions since the last session? We will wait few minutes for question from the last session. Let and I'm assuming that everyone is with Android Studio setup and today we will build some UI as well. So we will also tackle some question like at the end of the session. So let's move on with the session. So let's look at the schedule for this session, and you get the attendance link at the end of the session, and it is mandatory to be filled to get the certificate. In this session, you will be conquering pathway 3 with some core concept of Jetpack Compose. Let's dive into some important concept that you will be learning about. Today, we will really be diving into Jetpack Compose. Jetpack Compose is a modern toolkit for building Android's UI. Compose simplifies and accelerates UI development on Android with less code, powerful tools, and intuitive Kotlin capabilities. With Compose, you can build your UI by defining a set of functions called composable function that take in data and emits UI elements. To illustrate a few important concepts that you'll be learning in this pathway, we will go through a short code demo to create a pet adoption app in Compose. To start, let's talk about composable function. Composable functions are the basic building block of a UI in Compose. A composable function describes some parts of UI, doesn't return anything, takes some input and generates what's shown on the screen, might emit several UI elements. To see the parts of a composable function, let's take a look at the greeting function that is in the main activity when you create a new Compose project. All composable functions must have the composable annotation which informs the Compose compiler that this is a composable function. If you forget to add this annotation, your code will not compile. An annotation is applied by prefixing its name with the @ character at the beginning of the declaration you are annotating. Annotations are means of attaching extra information to the code. This information helps tools like Jetpack Compose compiler understand the app's code. You use the fun keyword to denote the Kotlin compiler that it is a function. In Compose, function names are capitalized. Note that this is only in Compose. In non-compose, functions should start with a lowercase. Composable function can accept parameters. When the value of those composed parameters change, the displayed UI will also change. Composable functions don't return anything since composable function only describes the UI. They don't construct or create the UI, so there is nothing to return. For our example app, we will be creating a pet adoption app that showcases a pet that is up for adoption. This includes a maze composable and two text composable. We will build the app piece by piece, but at the end, it will look something like this. So first of all, we will create a pet name composable. So yeah, this is Android Studio, and when you create a new project, kindly delete the greeting function and all the pre code that is there. And I will create a composable function. Pet name. It's there. Now we have to add a text composable also because we have to show the name of the pet here. Yeah. After that, we will add some text here. Bark, my name is Koda. Now let's add this in the default preview to see what is the output of this code. Name, and let me split my Android Studio and build the code. You can see in the default preview, my name is Koda. Now we have to add some pet information. In order to adopt a pet, we'd like to want to add some more information like age and hobbies. We will add composable fun pet information. This will also contain a text composable. I'm 3 years old and like to bark. So now we have two composables. So we want to display column and draw two composable data using compose to arrange multiple composables. So we will use column here because the desired output is in column. So what we will do, we will create another composable function name pet adoption information. Information. Yep. And inside this, I will create a column. And we will call these two functions inside this column, right? Pet name and pet information. And then the default preview, now I will call pet adoption information. Yeah. Now build and refresh. Yeah, both the composable functions are now in column. Now we have to add a image. So in Android Studio, image assets are stored under app, resource, drawable, and let's add it. You can directly drag and drop the resource from anywhere from your computer, or else you can use this resource manager, and from resource manager you can press on the tab and import drawables. You can select it from here also. So I have already imported it, so I will directly use it. What I will do, I will create a so we have an image saved in the drawable folder that we want to use it for this app. Now let's talk about how to access that resource in the app. This is the syntax that we use to access resource. Let's break down the component of it. So the R represents the R class, which is an automatically generated class by Android that contains the IDs of all resources in the project. And drawable refers to the subdirectory of the res folder that the image is located. Lastly, we will specify the resource ID, which is usually saved as a file name. You can see that inside the res and drawables, here are our images. So we will create another composable function. Pet image to display the image of the pet. Yes, I will create a variable image which will hold our image. Painter.resource. Coda is the name of our image. Yep. Now we'll use image compose and we'll pass the image here and content description. Let me tell you about this. A content description defines the purpose of a UI element and makes your app more accessible. Accessibility can make it easier for all users, not only those with these abilities. To interact with your app, we'll set the image content description argument with like gray and white dog and something useful. So now also add this in this column at the top of it. Now again build and refresh it. Yeah, it's there. So we have achieved the desired output. I have used some different image. You can also use some different image, but the layout is same. Now we have looked at how to arrange components in the pet adoption by using the column composable function. But how do we arrange all the different components for the rest of the screen? We do that by using layouts. Also, if anyone was unable to fill the attendance form yesterday, they can fill both the form from today. We will also share from both of the days, right? Compose has three standard layouts element. As we have seen, to vertical arrange items, we can wrap our UI components in column composable function. On the other hand, if you want to horizontally arrange items, we'd use the row composable function. Another common layout is box. Box is what you want when you want to put or stack elements over each other. If you want to show an image on the bottom right corner stacked on top of each other, right? Let's say we want to develop this UI. We can think this style as a part of superhero app from where you can choose your favorite hero, and this UI is a single superhero tile. Can anyone tell me which layout we can use to make this UI? You can put it in the chat which type of layout we can use to build this type of UI. Till then, let's take a look at data class. Data class is an interesting class in Kotlin in which we can like store the data in a class, right? Now let's create a data class. We'll go to our to the same folder which contains main activity, and we will create a new class, new Kotlin class, and we'll select data class here, and we will name this as hero class. Okay, so here is a data class named hero, and we have to add some parameters here like name. We say this constructor like name, and name is a data type string, name of the hero, and image of the hero. Image is data type of painter. That's it. Our data class is ready, and now we can create instance of these data class by using this constructor, and we will get as much as instant we required. So Smith answered that we can use row to create these type of UI. Yeah, that's the right answer. We will also use row. So taking our current implementation of hero selector, if we try to run this, hero selector would actually look like something this. So if we create a hero selector, let me just delete this. We are creating another composable hero selector that takes an hero data type. And inside this, there's a row with image, text, and a radio button. Image. We already defined in our hero data type the image. We can access it by using the dot, like hero.image, and the content description we can say hero image. Yeah. After that, there is a text, the name of hero. So we'll use hero dot name. And in the last, there is a radio button. So the initial value is, we can say, the false, and we are not doing anything by clicking it. So let's rebuild it. Yeah, we haven't called here. So first of all, we have to create an instance of hero, right? Val hero one. We can name our hero. An image of the hero. Resource r dot tribal dot file. And we can now call this function hero selector. And we are passing hero one. So we are passing both name and image at the same time by using the data class. We can build our project. We can see we have achieved this, right? So now we can pass some extra parameters to the row, like center vertically, vertical alignment, and we can pass alignment dot center vertically. Now let's rebuild it. We can see that this spark and all these will be aligned in vertically. We can also add horizontal arrangement, like space between will make all these three elements to take the maximum distance from each other. We have to add comma here, horizontal arrangement, space between. Repeat again. So there are so much more about layouts. So you can make sure to check out the documentation page about layouts to learn more. So far, we have covered composable function and layouts. But how do we control things like sizes, padding, and other operations? You do that by using modifiers. Modifiers allow you to decorate a composable. Every composable function in the Compose toolkit accepts a modifier as a parameter. Modifiers can be chained together until you achieve your desired customization. So modifiers allow you to do all sort of things, like you can set the background color. Let's create one another function here. Modifier testing and add a text. Hello compose. We can also create multiple previews. Here is our first preview, that is default preview. We can also add one more because we are not done with this. We can rename this modified preview, and we can call our modified testing layer. Yeah, and we don't need this instance here. Now let's rebuild. Yeah, we can see, and now we can pass modifier here. Inside text composable, we can add modifier of background and color dot magenta. Let's reformat this and build and refresh. We can see the background color of the Hello Compose is now magenta. So We can also set the size of the composable, like by passing one more modifier, size, 230 dp. When we build, you can see I am just chaining it by adding dot and dot. You can see the size is changed, and we can also add padding, dot padding and 5 dp. Build interface. You can also set alpha. Alpha is basically the transparency of the element. We can set 0.5f. Build interface. You can see the transparency has changed. So we can also make composable clickable. If this is a text composable, we can make it clickable, and whatever action you want to call any function or do whatever with this. Additional modifiers might also be available for you to developing like something inside box or some higher order composable. So if I like to align, so it says error, but because there is no higher order composable here, but if we put this inside a box and set the size of box, we can also set the size of box by using modifier 300 dp and put this text composable inside this modified testing box. I guess there is some wrong input. Just erase it and add the alignment here where I like to align alignment dot bottom end. Let's rebuild it and see the result. Yeah, it's at the bottom end, and now align is also working. Now using modifier, we can further customize the hero selector. So we are done understanding modifier, what modifier is. So we can go and match our design of our hero selector. So what we can do, we can add some modifier here in the row. So this is our desired UI, and this is our current UI. If we add in the row modifier, modifier to fill max width, build and refresh. Now you can also see they are apart from each other. We use space between, right? Now we can add some padding here. Padding of 620 dp, right? Yeah. Build and refresh, and we can add the border. So to add these border and a card-like structure, we have to wrap this in a surface so that we can add, border and the color, right? And there's some elevation also there. You can see the shadow, right? So let's create a surface. Put it inside it. add border stroke, 1 dp, and colors. Let's rebuild. We also have to add a shape. Shape is equal to, you have to add comma. Don't forget to add comma. And when you have to add multiple parameters. For shape, you have to add rounded corner shape and corner size 20%. Rebuild. If you can see that our UI is exactly same, that it's here, but there's one more thing. Our text is here. We want this near to the profile, right, to the image of our hero. So what we can do, we can wrap this image and this text in a single row, and this whole row and the radio button in another row. So let's do it. Inside this, I will create one another row, and I'll put these two inside this row. Let's rebuild. You can see these lines, like this is the first row, and we have to also pass vertical arrangement in this row. Now you can see this row and this row is apart from each other, and between these we have to add some padding. So let's add a padding in this image by using modifier dot padding, and we only want padding this time on the right side, right, on the right side at the end. So we can use end and 15 dp. Let's reformat and rebuild the code. You can see like we have achieved the desired UI. So we have only covered a few modifiers, and there are a bunch of more that you can use to decorate the composable functions. So make sure to check out these documentation modifiers by following the link. So great job everyone on your progress. If you like creating your Android apps and you want to learn more, you can go and check out these resources. We are excited to see you in the next Compose session. Thank you so much for being a part of Compose Camp, and now we are open up for questions. And everyone is requested to fill the attendance form as soon as possible. Okay, those who missed the attendance form yesterday, they can also fill today. Like we have shared link for both the days. But if you missed on the first day, then I guess there is no chance for that, because like yesterday, the link of the form got some delay. Also, anyone who is not from VAT will also be receiving the certificate. Please leave the registration number as well. So if there is no any question, we will wind up. Thank you for being a part of Compose Camp.